Halloween is coming, as everyone knows. And, of course, I know a few people know because they have on their outfits today. But, you know, as we enter Halloween, by a lot of Christians, is known to be a bad time of the year because there's a lot of things that go on Halloween. There's tricks, there's treats, and of course, it's like a lot of people see it as a day of the devil. It's a nighttime thing, celebration that people do. And through the years, Halloween has had a lot of Satanism and people that worship the devil. That's when they come out and practice. There's nothing wrong with celebrating, but it's the reason of Halloween and how it started back in the day for why people feel as though it is evil. Because people practice worshiping spirits and other gods and evil because of Halloween. It's like to be a dark. It's just like dark days. And you've heard of Prince of Darkness. Those are some of the things that people, you know, relate with Halloween, like haunted houses and ghosts. You know, God don't want Christians to be into that darkness and those, you see people with costumes with blood and nooses around their neck, or vampires, or those things that aren't godly. But to worship, I mean, to have Halloween, to celebrate it, to go through the community and collect candy is okay, as long as your neighborhood, you know, nowadays they're putting a lot of bad candy out there. They're putting, I remember when I was younger, they used to put razor blades and apples on a candy bar. They put needles and pins or thumbtacks and stuff in candy. And nowadays, this year, they're talking about some of the drug people will start putting that fentanyl, mixing it in with candy, because the fentanyl is starting to look like M&Ms or colorful, that look like candy, you never know. And that is a deadly drug, and that's when these are evil people that do that kind of stuff to the young children.
Yes.
But you shouldn't go out, you know, destroying property and, you know, busting windows and stuff like that, or flattening people's tires. I mean, we used to take soap and write on the window, or we take some eggs. If your mom don't catch you, to take some eggs out of the house and throw them at people's houses or cars and stuff like that. But nowadays, people are doing more wicked things because the world has gotten so evil that people just don't have no respect for life no more. That's why so many killings and so many murders going on. Even some children started doing things to their parents at nighttime, you know, when their parents are asleep and stuff like that, because, you know, social media is glamorizing some of these things, and TikTok and things like that are even helping it grow even more. And some people, you know, look to the community. They can have their community come together, just open up the garage, and, you know, just people that they know to come around and have the, you know, the bed of their truck or just a basket full of candy, so you can just go around to your neighborhood and just communicate with your neighbors and get to know your neighbors, rather than going over the other side of the town and, you know, to enjoy Halloween. But it definitely is looked at as being a bad holiday to participate in if you are a godly person. In Matthew's and King James Version says, "Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, and a bad tree bears bad fruit." It says a good tree cannot bear, a good tree will bear good fruit, and a bad tree will bear bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Many years ago, there was a tribe called the Celtics, and they began each year, they thought the veil between their world and the unseen world, because they were looking forward to spirits to come to the grave, and they wanted to communicate with the dead. And that's why when they sacrificed blood from animals, and then some of them started sacrificing humans, and to keep the spirits away from them. During the time, the dead would visit the Celtics, and when they would come, they would paint their faces and have bonfires where they burn the animals, and they take some of the ashes and paint their face and stuff like that. I guess that's why some of these masks that are coming out, to try to keep deceive the spirits and make the spirits stay away from them. But there's nothing but God that can heal the world and get rid of this kind of stuff. There's a long history behind Halloween and how it came about. And it's not a religious holiday, but the kids certainly like it. I know I used to like it when I was a kid, and we used to have fun doing it. But it's just done got so far out of hand these days that people just don't handle it the way that they used to. Some of the gods, and some of the there was a god called Estes, which was a galactic god, and they participated in human sacrifices back in the day. And there were many false gods. 1 Corinthians 10 and 23 and 24 says, rather than the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to demons and not to God. And God does not want you to have fellowship with demons. You cannot drink from the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. You cannot partake in the Lord's table and of the table of demons, or we provoke God to jealousy. We're not necessarily celebrating. For Halloween, we're not just celebrating, we're just merely participating, and because we don't want to open the door to a gateway to evil, so the evil can come around. Because Satan will find a missing link or a weak link to try to get to you. And if he sees that you're not just going out to get candy and stuff like that, but you're actually starting to believe in witches and warlocks and curses and voodoo and stuff like that, then it can lead you off as you grow up to think that that stuff is real. And Satan can occupy your mind and make you think that you see some things that you don't see. Do you see Jesus? You don't see Jesus celebrating witchcraft. You don't see Jesus celebrating demonization and perversion. There is no common ground between light and darkness. And Halloween is considered one of the dark holidays. But like I said, different people look at it from different points of view. But but they do the same thing at Easter and at Christmas also, because some of them are pagan holidays. But if your parents let you go out just to get candy, and they let you know that there's no witches, there's no warlocks, and that there are evil people out there, then you have a right to enjoy what you like to do. And God knows your heart. With all these holidays, God knows your heart. He knows why you're celebrating it and what you're doing, when you're doing it. He knows everything. This one little girl was praying to God, and I heard her say, God, let me tell you a secret. And I started thinking, I said, honey, God, you can't tell God no secret, because God already knows everything. This might be a secret to you, but God already knew what the secret was before you said that you was going to tell it to him. But God will watch over you, and just keep your hand in God's hand, and be careful when you're out there, because each day the world is getting more wicked and more wicked.
Amen.
So people are starting to wear these crystals. You know, they think crystals, these little rocks on a chain around their neck, the New Age stuff. They're thinking that can heal you, or that can make you happiness, that can give you joy. That's some of that yoga or some of that chakra stuff. But it just depends on your relationship with God and what you believe. God will let you know, and the Spirit will let you know what it is that you should do and what you should not do. And you should be all right. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Bump. We appreciate that.
Just said treat. Don't say trick. Just said treat. No tricks.